Today saw the first of the Swiss National Bank's regular quarterly monetary policy decisions since it unexpectedly abandoned the euro-franc currency peg in January. With me down the line to discuss is Matthew Clark. Matthew, the decision was in line with market expectations. However, some say risk does remain that the SNB cut rates further into negative territory in the future, with the SNB President Thomas Jordan promising record levels for longer as the franc is still clearly overvalued. Can the SNB keep their promise?
That's a very good question. As you said, the Swiss National Bank did keep rates as expected at minus 0.75%. I know that some people were looking for some mention of the Euro Swiss to be pegged again somewhere between this 105, 110 level. There has been obviously market rumours that they would like to see the Euro Swiss stuck in between those levels. Personally, we don't see them stating any specific level as such, because that's just like holding a red rag to a bull. We've already seen what happened before once they said that 120 would be protected. Down the line, do we see them cutting interest rates further? That is a possibility. I don't personally see it in the particularly near term. As time goes by, there is that possibility.
As you mentioned, the lender also slashed its growth and inflation forecasts to potentially the lowest in more than 60 years. According to commentators, the nominally independent bank may find it increasingly difficult to shut out the noise from Swiss politicians. To your mind, was January 15th decision the correct one?
To my mind, it was completely a correct decision. There is no way they could have stood in front of this 120 and the widely expected a QE program that was going to be introduced by the ECB. Obviously, I do believe as well that this QE is going to eventually take effect on the euro, and we'll see some growth appear in the euro. The worry of the Swiss franc being a flight to safe haven as well, with obviously the worries of Brexit, and even a bit of talk now about Britain exiting the EU, especially obviously if the Conservative Party do win the upcoming UK election. They have announced that they will hold an EU referendum. Might put some downward pressure on the Euro Swiss. But no, I don't think personally. I think that the independence of the Swiss National Bank is quite important to the Swiss government as a whole.
The Swiss franc strengthened on Thursday after the decision. USA markets have been awash with talk that 10500 to 1100 is the implied target range. But what is your forecast for the franc?
Swiss franc against the dollar, some might find surprisingly that we are trading at the same level that we opened up the year. Obviously, until the Fed decision, we were actually trading around 2-3% higher than we started the year. So we are dependent on the Federal Reserve and the US. We have been massively overbought, I believe, on this US dollar. So I think there will be some strengthening of the Swiss franc in time against the dollar. In the coming weeks, however, I do expect us to trade back up and make new highs on the year of the dollar Swiss. So I still expect some weakening of the Swiss franc against the dollar. Against the Euro Swiss, again, as I said earlier in my previous statement, that we are linked through Euro Swiss, through Euro dollar. I personally think that this 105 level will hold some support. And on the top side, is obviously we've got the resistance coming in around the 107 and then back up at the 26th of February's high at 107.95. I think that, if anything, I prefer the top side as well on this Euro Swiss over the coming weeks and months, with a move back up in the euro dollar, pushing up the Euro Swiss off the back of that.
Matthew, great to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. Well, that's all from me for the moment, but for a reminder of all the biggest market movers, click back tomorrow for the weekly wrap-up. Goodbye for now.